Still talking about EOC, everyday carry weapons. And for those who thought we might have left out the big bores, the Glock 21 45. Nice, a little bit big in the hand for most people, but it's, if you want the 45 ACP in a Glock, there it is. And then we have the Glock 20. It's taking a little getting used to that Glock 20. That 10 millimeter is an awesome round. And I would, the Glock 20 has its place. If I was somewhere where I knew I needed a heavier, hotter round, that would be the gun I would carry. The 20 and probably the 29. As far as the 21, I've owned Glock 21s for a number of years and have always enjoyed them. They were one of the most accurate guns straight out of the box back when they first came out, and they're straight out of the box. I was shooting matches with them and doing quite well. Also in the 45, we have the Glock 36, 6 rounds. A little disappointed, just basically because of the size. The length of the grip versus the width of the grip, well, it feels uncomfortable in my hand. I've shot it, the recoil's not bad. On the other side of that, you have the little bit bigger Glock 30, and then the S, which has the narrower slide. But this has been good. This is a comfortable weapon. But again, it has that wide grip. It'll take the 21 mag in it. This is the same size as what the Glock 29 would be. If you hold them side by side, you can see the difference in the width between the 36 and the 30. So if I had my choice over the two, I would stay with the 30 and maybe even look for a 30S with a narrower slide. But as it stands for right now, neither one of them are my choice for everyday carry. For those of you that may not be the Glock fans, I carried a SIG 220 for some years in 45 ACP. Dependable, accurate, no complaints whatsoever. This is an older model, and I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I carried it as a duty weapon. For those that love the 1911, I have my national match, which I've carried. I never carried up for a duty weapon, but I've shot a lot of matches with this gun. And then one of my old favorite standbys, an original 1911. And this original 1911 was all rusted when I got it. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, threw new grips on it, new barrel, new rear sight. And it is just an awesome everyday clinker to shoot with constantly. So overall, 45s, they still have a place out there. And they still have the 1911 still has a place for me. But if we jump all the way down, we can get into the wheel guns. Hey, nothing wrong with old. This is an Alberti Colt clone, but 45 long Colt. Awesome gun, served me well over the years. So I put a lot of rounds through this gun over the years. Black powder and smokeless alike. Now, for those of us that started way back in law enforcement when wheel guns were still all the rage, the 686 is the old Smith & Wesson standby. Awesome, awesome, awesome gun. Feels heavy, but with these Vackmeyer grips, it was always an awesome gun. And then I have the 66 and 357. This was my EDC before I got into the smaller semi-autos. This little gun I carried on duty, carried it in my pocket. It's had a lot of miles put on it over the years. I still have the wood grips, which are a little bit smaller, but this was carried in my jacket pocket for many years. It's a great little gun, and it served me well over the years. So when it comes to EDC, what do we say? What can I say? It's going to be a preference. Today's ammo, I've seen 9mm perform as well as the 40. I love seeing what has happened with ballistics on some of the 40 on actual shootings. 357 has always had a place. I don't have the 45 gap to compare, but it's the same size for package as some of the other Glocks. And the same thing with the 357 SIG. The 357 SIG is an awesome round. A little hard on the guns from what the state troopers that were carrying it told me, but it's still a very, very effective round. Choice of caliber for EDC would be 357. However, with modern loads and so forth, I'm back to the 9mm, knowing what it can do in when it's needed to. I've seen 45s close up and not do the job. I've seen 9s close up and not do the job. I've seen 357s. However, with 357, I've seen a lot deeper penetration. One shooting I know of, the 357 was completely fragmented as it entered through the windshield, leaving no projectile left to hit the driver. I've seen it not penetrate doors. Same thing with the 45, same thing with the 9mm. But the modern loads in the 9mm are awesome rounds, and they do the job. 45, if you think you need that big caliber bullet, big knockdown, that's great for you. For those of you that like the 10mm, I think it's a good option. It definitely will wake somebody up, whether they're on the receiving end or just nearby listening. So overall, it's going to come down to what is your personal preference. You know, do you want an old wheel gun? Do you want a semi-auto? I'm not a big fan of Smith & Wesson in the way they're semi-autos. And that's just personal choice. The Springfield Armory, I'm not a big fan of the Springfield Armory.